although it's hard to see at times, sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's hard to see, sometimes we just don't see it. Sometimes we see a little bit, sometimes we see it, but you know, um, every person, every situation, everything, and every encounter we come in contact with is a teacher in some form or fashion. Although a lot of times we feel we don't want to hear, our attitude feel we don't want to learn, we don't want to listen, but it's also another side of us, another part of us that need to get things done, and we need a teacher or somebody that can guide us or show us how we can accomplish whatever it is we need to accomplish, whether it be something dealing with money or any type of situational challenge that we need to deal with, need to correct, need to face, fix, figure out, make better. But you know, I want to say, I'm part bipolar, and bipolarism is something that's misunderstood, judged against, criticized, and looked at in a derogatory fashion by many people who don't necessarily understand it, or who has had encounters with people dealing with bipolarism, and they judge them and they hold their experiences and encounters with those people, against those people, and it's like, kind of like a prejudice, kind of like a judgment, whatever. That person crazy, that person bipolar. We don't say that usually in a compassionate sense, in the sense that we understand that person, what they're going through, or anything like that. Some people they might say they bipolar, so like give them some space, or something along those lines. But I want to say that I feel that it's lessons that I want to present from my bipolar roots, which is my family tree that also branches out and includes a lot of my community and upbringing and environments I've been exposed to, television shows, music, everything I've been exposed to that has an influence or an effect or an incorporation into that bipolar roots of mine that I'm expressing. And I want to say that bipolarism is, from how I'm about to present it, it's sort of like we all are losers. Like Rod Wave said, sometimes you have to face 1,000 losses before you get one win. And there's also, ancient teachings, ancient proverbs that express the same thing, just in a different way of wording it. That you have to go through a lot of bad things just to come out victorious in one situation. I want to say that what I was going to say is that we are all losers to a big extent, and you can't be afraid to take a loss. You just can't do it. That's lesson number one. And lesson number two is that our losses bring us closer to our roots, and allows us to know and understand what's more important, what's more valuable, what's more victorious for us, other than what we thought was the way to go. But we took that loss, and we understand that that wasn't necessarily the right way to go. And our losses make us smarter. Our losses bring us, down a level of being more, expressing more humility, humanity, and just, respect, consideration, and things along those lines. But sometimes it do make people bitter. But you just gotta, take care of yourself first and foremost. But I want to say that, like, lesson number three is kind of the same thing. It's like, whatever thing, person, situation that will sweep you off your feet will also leave you broken in the dirt, because of, like, your dependency upon them things. And, if you're not, like, pleasing that person, or, treating that thing right, or the way it should be treated, then it's going to cause you to basically be down in the dirt. Because, it's sort of like people might say you took it for granted, but you took it for a given, and you didn't know it was work, and you had to, take care of that. You had to water it every day. I mean, it just kind of get complicated. But basically what I'm saying, the same thing that'll sweep you off your feet it's gonna leave you down in the dirt. Or another way of expressing that, as other people did, or same thing make you laugh, it's gonna make you cry. Now, lesson number 4, I want to say is, things don't make sense overnight. Like, you will have to be extremely lucky, or you will have to have put time in to understand those things sometime in the future, sometime in the past, in order for things you just to wake up and, we make perfect sense overnight. But things don't work that way. For the average person, that's just rare. Like, just a person just sprang up with an idea and understanding, and everything makes sense that they didn't even get thought to before. But things don't just make sense overnight. Lesson 5 would be, and I want to say, just sometimes everything, just like seasons, everything takes time. Time is the most valuable asset. That's tying in with lesson 4, that things don't make sense overnight. Time is the most valuable asset. So, you gotta basically have space to give yourself time to understand anything you're trying to understand. Don't just, unless you're assaulted, don't just I don't know, don't just volunteer and, that don't make sense, like, because you're going against somebody dealing with a situation that you don't understand. You saying it don't make sense, but the way you saying it, you judging that person as in they doing something senseless, they doing something wrong because it don't make sense to you. And it's like you will bring trouble upon yourself a lot of times by throwing that judgment out. Whether it might be a simple argument, it might be a falling out, like that could cause you to fall out of a relationship or cause you to fall out of anything if it don't make sense. If you fighting a person and, throw that at them, hit them in the head with it, hit her in the head with it, y'all fighting, it's a battle, but don't just voluntarily and just start the battle and initiate the battle by telling the person that don't make sense. Something they think is something they feeling or something they doing. Because that's just like saying that's like saying them, their thoughts, their feelings, it ain't shit. Because it don't make sense. It don't make sense for you to go over there and do this and do that. That's not capacity. You got to put yourself in that person's shoes and understand how it makes sense. Everything in life makes sense. You just have to figure it out. You don't make sense to yourself or to the world if you can't figure out why that don't make sense to you. You got to figure it out. But lesson 5, it ties in all the other lessons. Analyze everything. You can extract secrets from secrets. You just analyze. Ask questions. Don't go, if you a little, I don't want to say baby, I don't want to say child, but sometimes you have to ask a person, but at the same time, you can't really, you have to grow out of whatever answer they give you eventually. So you don't want to really limit yourself to what a person expresses to you as the story, the understanding, the outcome. You want to listen to them, and you don't want to just stop right there. You want to listen to them, the person who had the opposite experience, who had the opposite thing to say. You want to consider all that. That's bipolarism kind of ties in. It's you on this extreme, you on that extreme. You don't want to just go and get in comfortable zone with this person that's just telling you everything you want to goddamn hear. Every time they the yes person, they yes lady, they yes man. You don't want the yes man. Sometimes you need the doubt. Sometimes you need a person to hit you with the opposite, but you don't want to have yourself in a predicament where the opposite is going to come and it's going to cause you pain because you were so closed up and expecting what you expected with a closed mind that when the opposite come, you got a problem. It's you got to try to look at both sides, basically. Lesson 6 is, peace comes, basically when you stop judging people wrongly. When you can understand not specifically each individual explanation of why that person did what they did. You don't have to go into him as an individual, but maybe you went into enough people, giving enough thought to that you can when you see a person doing something, everybody else oh, that's crazy, that don't make sense. You have a little more understanding where you don't have to have those same reactions as those other people, because you might not understand the details in that specific person life, but you have enough understanding, enough insight where you're able to leave space in your mind and in your judgment, so you don't have to criticize that person. You can just look at that person, accept them doing what everybody else want to try to talk them out of doing, and you can just look at that person and just not it kind of other people might look at you as you don't care, but it ain't that you don't care, but it's you understand, you not gonna help the situation, not gonna help that person if you just go criticizing them. Yo, your thoughts don't make sense. You need help. You need this, or your feelings don't make sense. You need to be doing this with your wife, and you shouldn't be doing that. And you don't know what the hell his wife doing that's causing him to feel the way he feeling. You don't want to go in there like that, because like you battling him, you don't even realize you battling him. You feel like he coming off wrong when he's flipping on you because you come to him in a non-understanding way, when you should just stop and just don't be so quick to judge people because it just don't make sense. At least if you do judge them, don't judge them like, don't go at them hard, but try to understand things. But that's a 7, it's a big mental world out there, and don't limit yourself. Big world, don't limit yourself. That's another lesson that summarized everything I spoke about before up to this point. Lesson number 8. The only way to verify these lessons is to spend time with yourself. You don't go talking with a group of people and y'all having a big group. It's when you by yourself that you can see clearly, more clearly than you ever will around anyone. When you got that space, that moment, that time to spend with yourself. Lesson 9 is pain, is like a father. Pain is like a friend. As long as it's not too much pain where it becomes abusive, then it's something else. But we learn that we can depend on pain to give us what we need, and in a sense, because it helps us to grow and it helps us understand and understand what matters the most. At the same time, I'm not saying you don't need like Buddha taught, you need that middle way. You don't need no extreme whatever they call it. Can't go on the extremists, where they causing pain and weird postures, starving themselves, doing all type of crazy stuff to hurt yourself. You don't want to do that, and you don't want to go overindulge yourself and just value every desire, and you feel pain when your desires can't be met, and you just got to go have it your way. You got to be that middle point. Sometimes you got to take a little pain. Other times you got to go for what makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? But lesson 10, take it as it comes. And let things work itself out in a sense that you have faith and understanding enough to know that the answer might not be there right at that moment, but it will come eventually.